Welcome, guys, and thank you.
Hello.
Let's start off and do a round of intros. So name, where you work, what you do, and a bit about, company or role.
Hi, my name's John. I'm the founder and CEO by everyone else. Is that a thing?
Like that.
Been promoted. Of Chance Clean Cider. So we're a British-made non-alc apple cider.
Hello? Yeah, lovely. Hi guys, my name's Amy. I'm Brand and Communications Manager at the Turmeric Co. I'm sure some of you have tried some of our shots. They're in the bucket over there. So we make functional beverages that essentially heal the body. So there's nothing concentrated, no apple juice, anything like that. Everything is literally crushed and freshly put into the shots that we make. So it's lovely to meet you all.
Hi, Mark Green from Parcel Planet, founder and CEO. So I've got a pay bump. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. I founded the company after, I suppose, selling a previous company that had a lot of pain around the order fulfillment process. And I suppose from my point of view, I wasn't getting the service that was required. So very much the Parcel Planet journey was solving a problem that we had, which was trying to scale and getting the fulfillment partner that would understand what we needed. So I suppose that's why we have the two centres between Dublin and Birmingham, particularly now with the B word as well. So that's Mark Green, Parcel Planet.
Thank you. John, let's start with you. You've, prior to setting up Chance, you've worked with some massive brands like Brewdog, like you're saying. What's like one common mistake that founders make when it comes to early marketing strategy? Because not everyone starts with big budgets, do they?
No, hell no. I think that the unfair advantage of being a founder is just being able to be nimble and quick and, being unafraid to make mistakes and move quickly is why you will hopefully be bought by a bigger company because they're just shit at innovating. They're really slow. Can we swear? Yeah, fuck yeah. So I've always kind of thought that I'd rather make 100 decisions and fix 25 problems than kind of make 10 really great ones. And, the guys that are a little bit too methodical and don't behave like a founder are the ones that haven't been as great.
And Amy, you've run some major marketing moments as well, but on minimal budgets. And it kind of goes back to what we was asking before about how do you kind of make the most out of your spend. So what's your go-to approach when every pound has got a stretch?
So for us, we really focus on our community-driven content, strategic partnerships, which I'm sure we'll go into a bit later, and also our earned media. So whenever we're thinking of a campaign, a creative campaign, we think, what can we do while we're filming this to make it PR worthy, or what can we do to make it relevant for retail? So we always approach everything that we're doing with the intent to milk it for as much as we can. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it really does work. And it can sometimes be the simplest things. So our founder, Thomas Robson-Carnew, some of you may know who he is. He's a Welsh footballer, ex-pro, and for example, the other day he was doing a speech just like this, and I sat there with my camera and filmed it. And Jermaine, our digital strategy director, he turned it into a paid ad, whacked it up, and we've got really, really good results from that. And that was just so simple. And it was just thinking about, and we are allowed to swear, doing cool shit and then posting about it. So yeah, it can be done. Just needs a bit of thought outside the box.
Yeah, stay creative. And Mark, you've got like a really real voice when it comes to fulfillment. Like, why is marketing logistics as important as marketing the product itself?
Yeah, I suppose it sometimes gets forgotten. I think the journey actually stops when the customer gets it into their hand rather than when the purchase is made. And I think sometimes that could be forgotten. Brands that we work with, they spend so much money on your return advertising spend, your CAC, everything like that. They sometimes forget that the journey still continues on after the purchase. And so I think looking at it from an end-to-end process and then understanding what do you want that experience to be, because every brand is different. Every brand wants a different experience going to their end customer. So really digging in deep into what that experience is to look like and communicating it with your fulfillment partner is really key. And if you don't do that, then that LTV is probably gone out the door because you're expecting a great experience. Your customer is. The next thing it drops, it's in the bin. and all that money is gone. And we all know how difficult it is to actually gain customers and the cost it is right now. So it's really understanding there's a journey right through until the customer gets it in their hand. And at that point, it's completed.
And John, how are you balancing like founder-led marketing with scaling structure, like, and the team as you grow? And do you always want to be like doing like founder-led marketing, would you say?
I think if there's any in the house, we're all a bit weird founders. We're kind of obsessed with the journey of it. So I think it's always going to be part of my DNA. I've spent sort of 4 years or 15 years of my career working with founders. So it's already been kind of learning from them. The best founders have been the ones that have kind of got out the way of their business talent. So I often try and be the less, I don't know how to put this, if I'm the smartest person on the call, I'm probably on the wrong call, and sort of trying to get talent in that is brilliant at what they do and better than you, so I can concentrate on being a founder is really kind of strategy. You can't do that at the beginning because we are CEO, founder, marketing director, fulfillment, jobs worth carrying stock to the bar upstairs. But as soon as you can kind of bet ahead of the curve of getting really great talent in, whether that be freelancer or in-house or agency, I think you just have to do it because I used to be a musician, and I just had a great band. So if you're surrounded by great musicians, you'll be in a good band, and I think that's kind of it. If you have great people in your team, the team will be great.
It's hiring so difficult, isn't it? Like in general, but it's so true. Like you want to find people that are 10 times better and more smart than what you are at doing something. And
yeah, and like what? Sorry, but a huge reason for me wanting to do this is because I wanted to work with all these brilliant people I've met over 20 years. So there was no part of me going, oh shit, who's the designer? I just knew them. So working with people, there's no me looking for talent out there. I've already met them. I'm quite fickle like that. So why not work with great people and have that good energy and do good things? It'll kind of come good, I guess.
And Amy, you talked a little bit about like the sports partnerships part, but that's like a huge part of your strategy, isn't it? Like how are you making sure you're getting the most out of those collaborations rather than just like logo placement?
Well, I think with partnerships and also even things like influencers, it's people are seeing past the bullshit, if that makes sense. It's not just, oh, this is your name and on this brand. People want to have more. So stripping it back, when we're thinking about what do we want to get from this partnership in the sports world, so we'll be talking to a football team, we think, okay, what do we want from this? Do we want brand awareness from this? Do we want actual conversions? What are we looking for? And being really strict on that when we're thinking of the inventory and negotiating rights is essential. Another thing that I found is really, really useful is really collaborating with the team on the other side. So, for example, say with Brentford, we're partnered with Brentford. We talk to them and think, okay, so what does your audience really react well to? When do your fans engage with something? When do they don't? And just having that consistent, like, two-way communication is so valuable for us. And also just letting them tell the story in their own way as well. I think not being too pedantic on things, and giving them creative freedom, because they know at the end of the day what works best with their fan base. And I have a good story as well. So at every single football, rugby club, although it's the same sport, they are very different in the way that their fans react to things and the way that they handle things. So we were partnered with the Premiership team. I won't name names, but it was so funny. So we'd have a campaign planned out. And then if they lost, they'd be like, no, we're scrapping everything this week. The fans are just not going to have it on social media. So we'd have to be like, oh my gosh, okay. But just little things like that and being aware of it with your partners, it can really, really make or break a campaign.
And you've got to be like super reactive to things like that and agile, haven't you then? Like if someone's just pulling the plug on something that you've got planned in your schedule, like surely that's quite exciting, stressful.
I mean, I do love a challenge. I love like thinking on my toes. I'm a bit of a weirdo like that. But luckily it's not frequent at all. This was just sort of one instance. And to be fair, thank you to them for doing that, because, we'd put something out, and especially on Twitter, football fans are relentless. And you just think, it's just our little social team replying to these, like, so please leave us alone. But no, I'm joking. It's it's very useful, and it thankfully doesn't happen too much. But when it does, it's, a bit of heat in the marketing team. What do we do?
And Mark, how can brands better align like their logistics and the customer experience strategies to really drive that retention and referral piece?
I think really it's, like I said earlier on, it's a case of lining it all up. Any founder I've ever met, being one myself, you always start off with a vision. You know where you want, you know the experience you want to generate. And really, I suppose it probably starts with the founder, maybe it's the CEO, going right through into the marketing, but then marketing communicating right through into their fulfillment partner. Because if the fulfillment partner doesn't know what experience you expect, they're not going to deliver. That's just the reality of it. And particularly what you were saying about being a founder and actually delegating out to those that actually know more and know better than you, that's the only way to grow a business. Like, to be honest, as a founder, you need to be the dumbest in the room, let's face it, because you've got all these great people around you. And it's the same then with the marketing team. When you engage with them, that they actually line it up with the customer service experience, and therefore any error on that experience is going to result in a ticket. And therefore you don't know if that's going to go viral. So it's very much what we see, I suppose, is the lack of engagement in certain clients that actually don't engage on the logistics side of the business to actually communicate with the fulfillment partner what's the experience they're looking to achieve. What is the courier, what's the packaging, what's the infill, what is the actual golden moment that comes out of that as well. And it's very much lining that up and treating it as a strategic partner, I think, is probably the best way I could put it.
And John, like, how are you building that emotional connection in categories like drinks and beverage, like where that shelf space is quite crowded and loyalty is quite difficult to win?
I think right at the beginning of the day, we were talking about quality and, with the spice person, I forgot his name.
Sanjay.
Quality has to be there. So you have to make the product look great, taste great, all that kind of stuff. But it's all about creating occasions. And if we're able to kind of become synonymous with occasions with our customers and the occasions that they're enjoying, it's kind of free marketing. So, there's a reason why people spend so much money to be at festivals, because you've got someone in a really great mood state, enjoying a brand, and then that association's there forever. So I think as long as we're able to kind of really find our moments with our consumers, and especially in non-alc, where a big issue is permission, whether it's people having the permission to drink themselves or to defend someone else going, why are you not drinking, or what you're drinking, us being able to find those occasions and make them really enjoyable just cements the relationship with that person. And it kind of transcends, it's a bit wanky, but it transcends what's actually happening. They just are a part of that moment. And when you have that with alcohol or with drinks, I'm sure we've all got that moment. You go for a pint with a friend, or you've got your airport beer, all those things. It doesn't really matter too much what's in the bottle. It's about the association with that moment. And we're very focused on trying to find those refreshingly present moments with our brand.
And this kind of leads on to what I was going to go for with you, Amy, is like, what's your approach to creating like those genuine online experiences and communities, like especially in like a highly functional FMCG space?
So for us, I think it's always adding value to the customer. And obviously, I'm not saying it's nothing that you haven't heard before, but it genuinely does work. We want to be giving our customers nutrition plans. We want to be giving them workout guides and giving them access to the tools to live a healthier lifestyle. Because as much as we want to say, customers are our friends, and, to an extent they are, but also it's transactional. We want to be keeping them on board. We want them to choose us over competitors. So a big thing for us is to make sure that we're still giving them value in our community spaces. Yeah.
And Mark, what do you wish more marketers knew about the role logistics playing in building brand trust?
I think it probably comes back to what I was saying just before, which is that strategic partnership. Particularly within a brand, if you think of a team that starts off with a brand, they're very tight. They understand, they know exactly what's going on, and they're all pretty much aligned in what they're looking to deliver as an experience to get that reoccurring sale. And at the end of the day, your fulfillment partner is very much part of that journey. So I think it's very much ensuring that the partner and the logistics is very much bought into that plan and is incorporated in it, and that becomes a strategic partnership. So the brands we see that are quite successful, they have heavy engagement with us. We talk about those moments when people open up what they've purchased. that's becoming a really big feature, particularly with UGC that's going through as well. So I think if a brand really acknowledges that the logistics and the marketing logistics, if they really acknowledge that and actually buy into that, they'll have a higher LTV. And the lack of, I suppose, waste and cash with CAC as well will really reflect on that, you know.
John, what have you learned from working both agency and brand side, apart from everything there is to know in e-com and D2C, when it comes to like building community and not just focusing on like campaigns?
I think being kind of both sides, you understand the importance of letting the talent be talented. We have a creative, I say an agency, they're a lovely couple, and they basically create all of our content at the moment. And very much the beginning of the brief was they came to us, they liked the cider, they kind of got the positioning, and we had a certain kind of deep dive with them. But then it was like, you go and do what you do. And we don't want to micromanage them as much as I've experienced sometimes, because again, that creates a lack of, I guess, respect and kind of empowerment with the agency. So I think it's important to make sure that they know what they're doing, but also just let them get on with their fucking job. And I think the best experiences I've had both ways has been when there's a mutual kind of understanding that you're doing the right thing, but also not to be kind of just like constantly nitpicking at it.
Let us agencies flourish and submit amazing work. Amy, you've earned some like big press and traction on LinkedIn, which is a tool that I think for a lot of brands is underutilized. Do you agree? Like, I don't feel like a lot of people include it in or part of like their marketing strategy. But you guys have done that and helped with like integrating like personal branding into that as well.
I think LinkedIn is essentially free. So I think if you can get past the whole, oh, it's cringe to post about this, that, and the other, you're onto a winner. So I'm just going to use Thomas, our founder, as a really good example of this. So Thomas uses his LinkedIn platform to really be a thought leader in health and wellness, in performance, anything like that. And it's because he really doesn't care. He just posts what he feels and it's authentic. And I think that if you're a founder or anyone working in a business who wants to be building their personal brand, the passion and the not caring that this is my opinion, this is how I feel, will carry you. And I think that if you're going to start posting random things that you don't really realistically care about, but you think it's going to get some good traction, in the long term, you're going to be found out and your audience may get a bit confused. It may be fragmented. Like, I just think you should really stay authentic with that. And with us as well, I'm sure many other natural products and remedies that if any of you are from businesses that make those products, we're very, very strapped on what we can say, just in terms of the MHRA, the ASA, because our products are natural and they aren't made by big pharma. So there's no ibuprofen, paracetamol. These are very accessible ingredients that you can get. So obviously, not going to go into politics, but that doesn't make any money in terms of what big pharma want. So we are strapped. We can't say that this helps inflammation when we have 10,000 customer reviews saying, yeah, this has really helped my inflammation. And by using personal brand, you can sort of dance away from the tone of voice of the brand, and using your own platform, you can say explicit things. Thomas speaks all the time on how, crazy the world of nutrition is, how you really need to check the label and what you're consuming. But if we said that on brand, we may get a few angry letters, which we have had, and it's all a game. We change things and adapt always. But I think, using personal branding, using LinkedIn in particular, you can really humanize your brand. There is no right or wrong way, just be authentic with it. And we've seen great results. Thomas has been picked up by press, especially around, he did a piece on the World Cup, I think it was, or Wales. They got somewhere and it got picked up by BBC News, and we were like, wow, this is so great. But just because it's authentic, I can harp on about it all day, but just get posting, post things that you truly believe in, and let the fun start.
And last one for you, Mark. Number one, quick top tip on what brands should be looking for in a fulfillment partner.
I suppose really it's it's a partnership. So if it's a strategic partnership, then the values have to align. And I suppose you're looking for a partner that aligns with the values and is probably passionate about what you do. Passion generates energy, and energy generates results. It's just a knock-on flow. And I suppose that for me is what I wanted within the business, that our people are very passionate. You find a lot of our people they're looking for discount from our brands because they really are passionate. They want to buy into the brand and all that. But realistically, it's actually aligning what is the focus. So I suppose it's making sure that the partnership is aligned in regard to the experience you're trying to deliver, and very much that reflects the people. We talked about having great people in the business. You look around, the depth of talent in that organization doesn't reflect what you're looking to achieve in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I suppose it's really aligning those.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys.